Welcome back to the Mail-In Podcast. I'm your host, Dillon, coming to you live from the Lodge in Austin, Texas, on Election Day. Let's go around the room and say who you voted for. Just kidding. Sally, what's up?
It's Election Day.
It is Election Day.
And I guess people listen to this on Thursday. There's a chance that when they're listening, we may know who's president.
Oh my gosh, it better be wrapped up soon. This country's going to be
we'll be in
apart.
Civil War II.
Yeah.
There's actually been some really hilarious, I don't know. To be quite frank, on Saturday, I deleted Twitter and Instagram from my phone. As a little social media break. I did this like a month ago.
Yeah.
I haven't deleted my accounts. I just took it off my phone to make it harder for me to access any of that. You know, to kind of flush the system. It hasn't stopped me from hate reading articles on CNN, just working myself up into a frenzy. But my sister sent me a really funny post about, it was the best Civil War tweets, and it's just people tweeting about Civil War, and it's hey girl, what you wearing to Civil War tomorrow? So,
yeah.
People have at least some humor still left in them.
2004 notwithstanding, we usually find out night of, right?
The year 2000 and the year 2004, they didn't call it that night. Because the year 2000 was the recount in Florida.
Supreme Court.
Oh, okay.
And then,
I got it mixed up.
And then 2004, they hadn't called Ohio yet, and they called it the next day.
Gotcha.
Last year wasn't till well after midnight.
Last year was at 2:30 a.m.
2000
or not
was
last
the
year.
last one
2016
wasn't old enough to vote in. I voted 2004 though.
I voted. My first vote was 2008.
Yeah.
Right. Wait, did I vote? Yeah, 2008.
Yeah.
Was my first presidential election.
Anyway. Weird day.
I am trying really hard to not.
That's all the election stuff we're gonna talk.
That's all we're gonna talk about.
That's all we're gonna talk. Yeah.
My sanity,
hey, man, I really appreciate y'all just not talking about politics, man.
Yeah, we got you, Dave. Don't worry. We got producer Dave on the board today. What's up, Dave?
That's my favorite DM is when someone tells me that, and I'm like, do you not listen? I feel like we kind of do at times. Maybe it's not easy to pick up on.
I think we just poke fun at stuff that's in the political realm.
Yeah, that's fair.
But we don't actually dig into politics. And that's we don't need to be doing that. No one wants to hear that from us.
No one cares about my opinion, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't need people to care about what I think.
I think we're pretty careful not to say which ways we lean, but some listeners are still turned off by us even mentioning things, and they're their exit polls on Patreon or whatever. Oh yeah, they got too political for me. No, we didn't. We keep it pretty cool. Anyway, it is important to vote though, even though now that you're listening,
the election's over,
so
hope you voted.
Yeah, I got to vote today, huh?
You've already voted. Shut up.
Have you not voted yet?
He has.
Okay.
I did, but I didn't put on the sticker and do a selfie, so I don't know if it will be.
I tried to with Will, and he refused to do it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I did it. I have no shame. Look, it if anything, it can maybe encourage a couple other people to get out there.
I wasn't going to vote until I saw you do that.
See?
Honestly.
See, I got Dave to vote.
Well, what I'm really upset about is I didn't save my sticker or anything, and then now there's all these you get a free pizza if you save your sticker and show us you voted. I'm damn it, I didn't do any of that.
It's people who donate to charity or something, and then on Twitter they're look, I donated $1,000 to charity. It's okay, is that self-serving? Or are you encouraging other people to maybe be philanthropic as well? So it does kind of matter a little bit.
Have you ever voted on Election Day?
Yes.
Actually,
this is the first time I've ever early voted. Yeah.
I have early voted every single time since my first ever presidential election in 2008 when I voted on Election Day and I had to wait in line for 4 hours.
Oh, I see.
I was never again.
I've never had an experience like that.
I specifically remember waiting because my precinct was UT campus or whatever, and I had to wait in line at the co-op for hours. It was awful.
Yikes!
And it was I think it was. I mean, it was obviously November. I'm pretty sure it was kind of cold that day. I mean, we were outside, on the drag. It sucked.
Yeah.
So, but props to the people who are doing it today.
Ross voted early this morning. He said his wait was 10 minutes on Twitter. He said this so.
There's hardos who want to do it on Election Day.
Traditional.
Just for the whole experience of it, I guess. Yeah.
That's why I did it in 2008 because I was I got to do it on Election Day. It's my first time voting.
I went out of my way to go during a time that I thought would be pretty empty. Turns out there was a 10-minute wait. And that was just due to the ongoing pandemic.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Well, yeah, I just wanted to avoid.
The
I don't want to
global
be in a
pandemic?
crowd. The global pandemic.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
global.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to be in a big crowd. And like where I vote, it used to be in a grocery store. They moved it to next to a juice land, and it's just it's like an empty space in like a strip mall, and there's eight little voting things in there, but it's crowded. There's like 30 people in there, so I'm just like, all right, I don't want to be in there when it's
Yeah.
just loaded out.
I don't know if Will told you this, but we went on a Sunday and it was like all really old people. We're like trying to social distance, and I'm not kidding. This like 98-year-old lady was like 1 foot behind Will, like
Oh, no.
on top of him, and Will was like, "Dude, I don't know how to tell this lady that like if she gets COVID, she's gonna die. So like she needs to back." She just had
probably-
no.
She probably doesn't care.
Probably the first time she's been in public in like, forever. But she was just standing right behind
What a
Will.
weird ass year this has been, man.
I'm ready for it to be over.
Yeah, a couple more months.
Mhm.
All right, folks. We have a podcast to get to. Before we do that, the hotline number, 888-362-MAIL. That's MAIL. 888-362-6245. You can also write in if you'd prefer. There's a link in the Twitter bio, @MailinPodcast. We have 7 questions today, 4 of which are voicemails. You guys ready to jump right in?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Hey, mail-in gang. This is kind of a long question, but I'll try to keep it short. Me and my roommate have a friend that lives about 4 hours from us, and she visits quite often. Past few times she's come up to visit, I realize that I'm starting to catch feelings for her, and I've been debating if I should bring it up or not. I get the vibe that she might feel the same, but I'm not sure. The issue behind it all is she used to date one of my friends, who I don't talk to as much for unrelated reasons. Also, there's a strong chance she might move in with us next year when our lease is up, and we can move to a bigger place. I'm leaning toward not telling her so that if it goes south, I don't lose our friendship. Any input would be appreciated. Thanks.
All right. Here's what I think you should do. It feels a weird pivot. I just want to talk elections. I don't know why, but
I know. I just want this to be an election podcast.
I know. Okay, let's get to the question, though. We got to take it seriously. All right, I think because you said she will probably be moving in with you, I say you hold off on talking to her about your feelings and just kind of let things naturally play out. If she decides not to live with you, or if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, she lives somewhere else, then I think it's okay to share your feelings. But let it play out, because if she does move in, things are just going to naturally play out. And things will, if feelings are mutual, it's gonna be a fun little situation you have there. Potentially dangerous, but fun.
I disagree with you completely.
Okay.
I think that he should tell her. Because if he waits and then the sexual tension gets even more intense and then they're living together and then they hook up but things don't work out, that's way worse than it being awkward before and then her potentially not moving in with you. Right? Like,
Yeah, I'm saying, like, if she moves in, like,
mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think just naturally things will just come together, like, without you even having to try.
Or naturally things could just totally devolve because you're in a situation where you're living with somebody that you have feelings for and say nothing ever happened. So that's like a whole year of living with somebody, an unrequited love. That sucks.
But he could also just pick up on the vibe that she's not putting down and be like, okay, I'm not gonna make a move. I'm not gonna make a play at this.
I think it depends on how into her he is. Like, if he's super into her and wants to date her, I think you gotta bite the bullet, talk about it now, see how you feel. Because then living with a potentially significant other and other people is also a not great situation. Because then you, like, involve people in your relationship and, like, things get weird with, like, bills and, like.
Yeah.
I just think that's a sticky situation that, like, if you think that in 6 months there's a chance your feelings are going to be, like, you maybe have a crush on her, but, like, you know yourself and you'll probably move past it by the time that, like, your lease is up or whatever, cool. Don't tell her. But I feel like I've been in this position enough to, like, know myself where I'm like, I have a crush on somebody, it only gets like more intense, and then like you don't want to be in a situation where you're either living with that person and not getting what you want, or you get what you want, maybe y'all hook up and then nothing happens. That's worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Or y'all end up together and it's super awkward for your other two roommates because, like,
yeah, I mean, it's probably smart that they don't live together, period.
right.
You know, but he wants it to happen. Like, obviously, he's into this chick, and the idea of her
Right, but
living
like,
under the same roof
wouldn't
is
you
pretty
rather
exciting.
like tell her up front and maybe date her and her not live
I know,
with
but
y'all?
it's not like people aren't that. They don't put their brains first in situations like this.
I know, but we're telling him to put his
I
brain
know,
first.
but he's not going to do it.
Well, but that's what I'm telling him to do.
Okay, but he's not gonna. I'm
Okay.
telling you.
Okay.
Plus, you have a potential.
He
to, like,
asked
just
for
wreck the whole-
advice on whether or not to put
I know, but yeah. I don't know.
I
If
think
you
you
go
tell
to
her-
if you go to her now, before she decides to move in, you have potential to totally wreck the whole living situation, which it might be best, but it's gonna be pretty disappointing for him. You're
Right.
right though. You're right.
But there's a chance it can be disappointing in a lot of other terrible ways later on.
No, there's no doubt. There's no doubt about that.
Be honest with your feelings, dude.
Yeah, you're probably right. Sally knows best here.
Thank you.
It's just gonna be tough for him, but okay, Dave. Sorry.
You know, a few days ago, I got an email from UPS saying I had a package on the way. This is unrelated to that question. And I was like, what could it be? And then when I got it, I was like, oh, my God, it's my favorite thing to get. It's Liquid IV, my favorite sponsor, one of them at least. They are so generous to us, and I've been just pounding the Liquid IV.
They dropped the bag.
The Hydration Multiplier Plus is my new thing. I love the taste, but in addition to the taste, I love the vitamin C, the vitamin D, the zinc, and the proprietary Wellmune, which is an immune booster. This is huge. It's fall. It's November. It's in addition to all the other stuff, it's cold and flu season. You need to have your immune system tight, and you need to be hydrated. It all works together. So check out Liquid IV. We take it when we're working out. Peloton. I know Will and Sally are taking it on the Peloton.
I've been crushing the immune support like daily. I actually had 2 yesterday. 1, because it's my favorite flavor, but 2, because I've had like gnarly allergy headaches. And it's the only thing, like, it works better than ibuprofen or Tylenol at this point. Like, it helps me hydrate, and it tastes great, and it feels like I'm boosting my immune system.
It's got that tangerine flavor.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
It is really good.
I'm not going to share the text messages my mom is sending because they're very long, but I've been bringing this stuff out to her and my stepdad, and she can't get enough of it. I think she's like a little too into it. She loves this stuff is what I'm trying to say.
It's very good. I've got friends and family members into it. They're available at Walmart now. With every purchase, Liquid IV donates a serving of Liquid IV to someone in need. That's huge. Hydrating the world. They're donating 3.7 million servings in response to COVID-19. Products are being donated to hospitals, first responders, food banks, vets, active military. Over 5 million servings donated globally. How cool is that?
Very cool.
Their new Hydration Plus that we talked about, you can get that at Walmart. I know some of it you can get at Costco. And special offer here, 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code MAILIN at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order when you use promo code MAILIN at liquidiv.com. Get better hydration today at liquidiv.com. Promo code MAILIN.
Thank you, Dave. Let's do a voicemail.
Let's do a voicemail.
What's up, Mail-In crew? It's Trev Cat. I was on a road trip the other day, and my passenger kept messing with the AC, changing the temperature and stuff, driving me absolutely insane. Just got me wondering, what's everyone's responsibility on a road trip, and what are your biggest road trip pet peeves? Let me know. Love the pod.
Always good to hear from Trev Cat. I think this is a pretty good question.
I would find that really annoying.
Really? Okay, are we assuming that the passenger doesn't have their own temperature? Because, new cars has, like, 2 temperatures, right?
I will say this. My car does this thing where, like, if it's a certain temperature outside, if I turn on the AC, it gets almost too cold. And then I, like, have to turn it off and then return it back on. And same thing with the heat. Because in Texas, you never, like, need really heat on. Like, there'll be a couple, like...
Yeah.
weeks maybe where you turn it on, but then like I personally don't like the like heat making my face feel all hot and like feeling really stuffy. So I'll turn on heat enough to like warm up my car and then turn it off and just like ride with the seat warmer.
Yeah. You know what I find slightly annoying is when other people, I don't care if people adjust the temperature in my car because, you know, whatever, be comfortable, do your thing. Plus they have their own temperature on their side. But it seems to me a lot of people don't understand what the auto function does on the AC.
Mm-hmm.
It automatically regulates temperature, like it'll adjust the levels of the AC to find the 72 degrees, whatever you put it on.
Right.
It seems that a lot of people don't understand that. So they get in my car and they'll just start turning up like the vent power.
Right.
Like, you know, that's not how this works, right? I have it set to where it's going to automatically adjust how hard it's blowing and how cold it's blowing, and it'll find the right temperature. Like, please just chill out with that. I get people in there just start turning knobs. Like, you don't know what you're doing.
I think I agree with you. If it's a dual AC situation, like them adjusting their own situation shouldn't bother you, right?
Right, not at all.
But if you're like,
that's why it's there.
the one thing that really sucks, and I've been on a road trip like this in a really long time, where you're like in the back seat, is like, especially if you've like taken a road trip in Texas in the middle of summer, and you're like in the sun. Like the front seat needs like AC blasting on them constantly because you're just sitting in the sun. But then like the back seat can either get too cold, or like if the front seat's too cold, then they like chill it out, and then the back seat's so hot. Like that sucks because it's hard to like regulate like a whole suburban full of people, right? So that kind of sucks.
All right, what are some responsibilities of a passenger on a road trip? I think you have to be the navigator.
If you're the passenger in the driver's seat, I think you are DJ.
Yeah.
And I think your other responsibility, like for me, navigator, Will and I have, if we're driving somewhere that we don't know where we're going, which is like pretty much constantly with Will because he has no idea where he's going ever.
Yeah.
I just put directions on the phone and let it talk to him because I get distracted and like he'll be like, when am I exiting? Like freak out. And I'm like, in like 4 exits, and I like try to be calm. But
Yeah.
it's better for like.
Bare minimum though, they have to punch in the address. And, like
Right.
they work the phone and work the GPS deal.
But I think you are DJ, and I also think your responsibility, especially if it's only 2 people, is that you have to entertain the driver. You can't be sitting on your phone, scrolling Instagram.
See, we're gonna disagree here.
Because that's so boring for the driver because they can't check Instagram, so they're driving, and the other person's just like.
We talked about this recently, actually. I think it was one episode that you weren't able to make, but and it was about like keeping conversation going on a road trip. If there's 2 people in a car, one riding shotgun and the driver, of course. And in my opinion, I like it when they just kind of shut up for a little bit. Get lost in your phone. I don't care, but I can't talk to you for 3 hours straight. Like that's just not who I am.
I think it depends on who I'm with.
Yeah.
Like if it's Will and I, and we've done this before, especially if I'm driving at night and you're scrolling Instagram, like I'm gonna get pissed because
not me.
you've got to like talk to me because I will zone out.
If you see a funny post, you start laughing. Like I want to know what you're talking about, but I don't care if you get lost in your phone.
Definitely can't be watching videos with audio.
No, yeah, you can't.
That's
do that.
annoying when somebody in the passenger seat is like, you know, they're clearly watching some dope video, and you're like, what are you watching?
I think if it's 2 people, I personally want somebody talking to me if I'm driving.
See,
Because I think I have a very unless I can like put a podcast on that like is going to keep me engaged, but I was so used to driving like back and forth by myself that like I need something like I would listen to podcasts all the time. I need something that's engaging because if it's quiet or I'm just listening to music, like I'll just zone out and like that's not.
I think I estimated that I have about 30 minutes of like actual meaningful conversation in me on a road trip, and the rest of it's just filled with like, let's just cut the awkward tension with just fluff conversation.
Well, I don't want fluff conversation.
But I can't have like deep meaningful stuff for 3 hours straight. That's just not who I am.
No, that's fine. I
Okay.
don't need that either. But I do need them to not be like a dud. Put on something that's gonna make me like be somewhat entertained. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me listen to a podcast if you're gonna be scrolling your phone.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah. You
I
can
think
do
that I will say this, and I think I've said this before. My biggest pet peeve, I actually have 2, but this is my biggest one. If you're on a road trip and someone just gets on a call, they're just chatting to somebody else,
Oh that's rude.
and you're like, "Are you fucking kidding me?
Just being on a
Like,
call in general, not even in the car, just in general in front of one other person is rude.
is
Because
so
it's like
annoying.
I'm choosing to talk to this other person instead of you. You just have to hear one half of our conversation, and it's a little rude.
It's rude.
Yeah.
It's also kind of uncomfortable because you're like having to listen to one side of this person's conversation, especially if it's somebody that you're not like Will and I, that will happen to us and it'll be like one of our moms or something. It's like, okay, we understand. Like, you got to talk to your mom, whatever. But like, if it's one of your friends, they just like hop on the phone with another friend. You're like, you're not even on speakerphone, so I can't enjoy this conversation.
Yeah,
I'm
right
just
here,
listening.
dickhead.
Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
And then my other pet peeve, I would say, and this is just in general, is when people are being the DJ and they just like constantly change songs instead of like letting the whole song play through. You know those people.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, we're going to listen to the best part, so I'm going to just change
Oh,
it to the
yeah.
next one. You're just like, can you not? Like, just listen to the whole freaking song. Like,
Yeah.
it's not that hard.
Yeah. Man. Shouts to
Sorry.
Trev Cat, though.
Will and I watched, or I guess he watched, I kind of watched the Ryder Cup on a phone on our way up to Dallas or Arlington for the Cowboys-Lions game. I was driving. He was there. And I was like trying to get him to tell me. I was like trying to get play-by-play from him.
Yeah.
He did an okay job.
Yeah.
We lost. It's okay.
Yeah.
Let's do an email.
Let's do it.
Hey, mail and crew.
Kind of a long one. Sorry, Dave.
Need some help approaching my boyfriend on a sensitive topic. Some details about us. We're both in our late 20s. We have been dating over 2 years, have lived together for over a year, and have a dog. We've been talking about getting engaged soon and talk often about our future together. He's my person, my best friend, and someday, soon, my husband.
How sweet.
That being said, I need to have a tough conversation. Sex does not last long between us. At first, I thought maybe he was just excited, but it has persisted. And it wasn't until one of your sponsored segments that I realized it's likely a common issue for a lot of guys out there. And there could be treatment for options for PE. What is PE?
Premature ejac,
I
believe.
I know he is concerned about it and looking for solutions because I may have come across an open browser tab while borrowing his computer a few weeks ago. He's always very giving in the bedroom as well to sort of make up for it. But I know it bothers him because he seems frustrated each time we're done, and it breaks my heart.
Aw.
I need help bringing up the subject in a non-threatening way and to not make him feel emasculated. It's important we have this conversation and we explore some options because it is starting to become an issue in our satisfaction in that area, and I'd hate to let it linger on any farther. I want to be supportive without making him feel bad that I am somewhat dissatisfied. So how the heck do I start this conversation in a loving way? Keep in mind, he's her person.
Yes. First of all, you sound like a very sweet young lady, right? Very caring,
Yes.
right? It breaks her heart that he's going through this.
Person.
It's her person. That's a saying, Dave. Don't make fun.
I'm not making. What did I even
right.
say?
I don't know.
Just read the damn email.
I don't know.
Jeez.
I don't really know what to say here.
It's. Can I give my one thought of the day?
Yeah.
It sounds like obviously he knows. He's looking into it.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to bring it up. As long as he's like, I don't want to get too much into there. Whatever she brought up. If he's like doing other things to make sure like that thing is happening.
Counterpoint though, if this is her person and she's his person.
Stop, Dillon.
They can. I think if she brought it up in a very like. This isn't a big deal way. I know that you're aware of it. Like it might change his comfort level. It might make him be like, okay, she knows about it. I'm not as on edge, and I don't know if it's going to affect what goes on. But
You're
mentally,
saying he should edge.
he could be in a mentally just a better place if she acknowledged it in
Takes
a
the pressure
loving
off of it.
way. Yes.
If you take the pressure off, that is a thing. Now, I'm not qualified to say this because I'm not a sex therapist. You guys are familiar with that. But yeah, that's a lot of it is performance anxiety. So you alleviate that, just gas him up. Be like, oh, you're doing great. Don't worry about it. Give him some false confidence.
Let me add this.
He's
And
your person.
mom and family, if you're listening, just skip forward like a minute or so. But if there's like a lot of foreplay before you actually do the sex, it can sometimes lead to like a quick little sesh. you don't have to say anything, obviously, Dave. But I think I speak for most guys if there's a lot of foreplay building up to it, because you know, this is so uncomfortable. I'm trying to be helpful here. If you start the sex quickly, you know, it can last. It can last longer. But if you have foreplay for an hour and then you have sex, it's just not going to last.
You mentioned edging earlier. Do you think that's something?
I believe you mentioned edging.
Should he look into that?
Yeah, look into edging. Look it up if you don't know what it is. Sally, I don't think
You
Sally
have to
has
answer
much to offer here. Do you?
I have way more than either of you two.
I thought we were
Oh my
helpful.
God.
I don't know how to answer this question without sounding.
You gotta be honest with him. Sorry, I probably just fucked up some recording equipment by slamming the table.
No one's listening anyway. It's fine.
Oh, they're listening now.
Hope our mics are on. Man. I don't know if it was like me entering my 30s or like being in a secure relationship or what it was, but like you got to get the confidence to just tell him how you feel. And sorry, like y'all are in a loving, committed relationship. If he can't handle that, like that's upsetting. I think people walk around their whole lives having mediocre relationships, mediocre sex, mediocre communication with people because they're too afraid to say how they really feel. And you don't need to like obviously shit all over him, but like people gotta talk about sex, like especially with somebody you love and trust. Like that's the most comfortable you're ever gonna be with somebody. So I think it's absolutely okay.
Okay, so it should be communicated, but what is there anything he can do about it? Like, can she give him tips?
There's so much he can do about it. First of all, I think talking about it more so than just like edging or whatever y'all are talking about.
That's the first thing I said. You got to talk about it. Might make him feel more comfortable.
Talking about it brings it out in the open, so then you're aware. Like, then you're both aware of it. They're a sex therapist. Maybe see one of them. Maybe he sees a doctor. Maybe you work through it together. He like actually tells you why he's PEing, you know?
Maybe she should edge him.
I think people spend a lot of time like keeping to themselves and being polite and not saying how they truly feel when really like the person, maybe he's not going to be the best sex of your life. Okay. But there is like a certain comfort that comes with like loving someone, them being your person, you completely trusting that person, that you can say what you want or how you feel or what's bothering you in the bedroom and have zero judgment. So I think the best thing to do is to approach it like that. Have a conversation with them and just be upfront, honest, be like, I'm doing this because I love you and I think we're both aware of it. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I want us to be honest with each other. So I think you need to tell me what you need and I'm going to tell you what I need. And if we can't do that for each other, then we're going to find a way to make it happen. Because once you open the lines of communication, there's tons of stuff you can do. Like I said, like she's talking about him looking up, you know, I don't know, a sponsor that y'all had, or, you know, talking to somebody about it. Even the regular therapist, not even just a sex therapist, like trying new things in the bedroom. I think people are just like so afraid of sex can be so taboo. And like, why is it going to be taboo with somebody you're having sex with? Like y'all are already nude and doing the deed. Like that is the person that you should be trusting the most to talk about it with, rather than like your friends or a podcast. And I commend her for like asking the best way to not hurt his feelings. And I do think there's you don't need to, there's a chance he's going to feel attacked no matter what. Like,
I think communicating it is obviously the thing to do, but I think your delivery is very, very important here. Delivery
is really important, and there's a chance that even if you're super kind and trying to come off as like, hey,
it could add to his anxiety.
It's gonna, it probably will, but you also have to open the door at some point, because otherwise you're gonna let it go for years and years, and then it's gonna turn into like a resentment issue. You know what I'm saying?
She seems to be hyper aware of of him, and like I don't think we have to worry about her delivery being off.
Right. I think she should be prepared for him to be hurt.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And I can't picture many guys talking about like their experience in the bedroom or lack thereof and being super secure about it. Like, I mean, very few people, even girls included, would not probably take kindly to that. So I would go into it being really empathetic and kind, realizing that he may be upset, but probably will come to, it's like telling somebody that you love that, like, you know, maybe they're being unhealthy and overweight or something like that, but you're coming to them with like a, hey, I really think we got to talk about this. And at first, if they're very aware of it, they're going to be upset at first because it's like you're just validating what they're already insecure about. But then they'll probably appreciate that you open the door and that they can like have a frank conversation about it.
Yeah, if you love someone and they love you back, like no topic should be off the table. You guys should be able to talk about literally anything that comes up because that's what it's all about.
Maybe it's because I'm older and I've listened to like my friends talk about this, but I think the older that we get, the more that like we're married now, and like I just sometimes want to be like, you gotta. Why are the, you know, my friends and I talking about this over wine? Just talk about it with your husband.
Yeah.
Which is fine to talk to your friends about it too, but like talk to the person that is directly affecting, you know? Yeah. And I think she's going to do that, but I appreciate her trying to like protect his feelings.
Yeah, of course.
But you got to tell him and then see what he's comfortable, you know, what avenues he's comfortable going down. Is he comfortable talking to a sex therapist? Because, like, this is fixable. I mean, not by me. I'm not a sex therapist. Neither is Dave. He just told us that.
Not.
But,
You're
like,
not.
there are other people who are good at this, you know?
Oh, for sure.
So.
Hey, good luck.
Yeah.
Hopefully the conversation goes as well as it can.
Yeah.
Sure it will. I'm glad you had much more to offer on that than we did. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
I mean, I hope she goes to him and just like, do you want to try edging? Do you want to?
I mean, yeah, who knows?
Munch and punch.
David. What's your problem, dude?
Hey, everybody out there with the butthole, listen up. This ad is for you. Hello, Tushy. Hard to believe that when we go to the bathroom in this country, most of us wipe instead of wash. For years, bidets have been available, but very expensive, costing thousands of dollars. The Hello Tushy modern bidet attachment is here to democratize the blessings bestowed by bidets and offer clean buttholes to everyone, Dillon.
Mm-hmm.
Even you.
Thank you, Dave.
Hello Tushy cleans your butt with a precise stream of fresh water for just, get this, $79.
Yeah, it's an attachment. It attaches to your already existing toilet. It's not a whole structure like a typical traditional bidet.
How crazy is that?
That's why it's so inexpensive.
Yeah, and it even comes with a 60-day risk-free guarantee and a 12-month warranty. Ditch paper products and uncomfortable chafing when you switch to the soothing, cleansing stream of water from a Hello Tushy bidet attachment. Millions have done so already. Join them right now. A clean butt with every flush. If you think that you've noticed some more pep in our step in the last few months, it's because of this.
Yeah.
Go to hellotushy.com/mail-in to get 10% off. Again, hellotushy.com/mail-in for 10% off. Special offer for our listeners. Check it out, hellotushy.com/mail-in.
Thank you, Dave.
Can we pause?
Time. Yes.
I have to pee really bad.
Yeah, we can pause.
I'll be right back.
Cool. No. We can talk. We can power through.
You want to keep going?
I'm dealing with something weird right now.
What is it?
My dog last night, and he's doing it again this morning, downstairs. He's like seeing or hearing something around our house.
What?
And he's like looking around and acting skittish and like getting really close to us. And
Right after spooky season, you dropped this bomb on us?
Yeah.
Have you investigated?
I mean, it started last night, and I was downstairs playing Call of Duty.
Is he going to the window, to the door?
Well, he popped up. And he, like, looked at the door, and, like, we have bugs that fly into our door all the time. So you hear, like, little, taps. Not uncommon for bugs to be flying around outside, hitting the windows. But, like, I don't know. It's happening right now. She's home. She has the day off for election day.
It's still going on.
Well, he's just started doing it again, and she's freaked out that he might be, like, have something else going on. So I'm going to call the vet after this.
Really?
I'm going to just call him. I mean, I'm sure it's nothing. I mean, maybe there's some sort of spirit in my house. Hopefully not. We haven't had any issues with that before.
I was going to say, it's kind of comforting that it's happening in the daytime, too. It's not like an intruder that's kind of lurking around the house.
I was pretty confident last night that, there's nothing going on.
Right.
I popped the headphones off and I was listening. Didn't hear anything. I don't know, man. It's kind of freaking her out. It's freaking me out a little bit too. Because he's never really done that. Now, he gets skittish sometimes, but not like, he's either, I don't know, Alyssa's like, what if he has like a floater in his eye? Maybe he's seeing something that's,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's worth making a phone call.
Yeah, I'm going to just call and see, maybe make sure that's not like a sign of something weird.
Jeez, man. Well, I hope he's okay.
Maybe he's on LSD or something.
Yeah. Welcome back, Sally.
Let's do a voicemail.
Hey, guys. First time, long time here. I have a friend, his girl, that has gotten enhancement surgery for her breasts, and I was wondering, is it okay for me to comment upon that and just be like, hey, nice, or is it not? Because, I mean, it's a great job, but at the same time, I don't want to be creepy or anything like that. I mean, she's my friend and has been for a while. Anyway, I just would love some of y'all's wisdom on this. Thank you.
I just love the idea of him being like, nice. Nice.
Nice enhancement.
Yeah, if this is your friend and not your lover, no, I don't think you can say anything. Unless she brings it up. Like, hey, what do you think? They'd be like, yeah, they look great. But don't be like, I noticed something. You look very different.
You got to wait for her to bring it up.
Yeah, you got to wait for her to bring it up.
And if she brings it up, I think you're okay. Yeah. Well, wait, is she dating one of his buddies?
No, he just
Sounds
called
like-
her a friend.
Sounds
a
like
friend.
just a straight up friend.
Oh, then
You can't bring it up.
You can't bring it up. If she brings it up, I would be measured.
No, okay, here's my thing. I think I agree. You wait for her to bring it up, and then you can be like, yeah, they look great. But you don't obviously need to go into like creepy detail.
Oh, yeah, those are bomb ass tees. Let's go. You can't say that.
Here's what I'm just going to be straight honest with you. Is there a ghost?
I think there might be a ghost in here.
Okay. People who've had plastic surgery, most people I know are very upfront about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'll be honest, I've had a nose job. Best decision I've ever made.
Wait, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
No, of course. But very few people noticed the difference because I had it really early because I had a broken nose
Huh.
and a deviated septum.
I had no idea.
Honestly, like, I'll tell anybody because I think it changed my face and like my outlook and made me feel better about myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very happy to tell people about it. And I'm free to talk about it. I'm not going to pretend like, oh my God, I got sinus surgery, like lie about it.
Yeah.
But again, it's to each their own. Like, I'm very happy with what happened, so I'm free to talk about it. And if you want to be like, cool, like you didn't know me before, so you can't really tell the difference. But for her, like a lot of my friends who've gotten breast implants and stuff are really free about it. Like they'll just be like, yeah, I got breast implants.
Yeah.
Like to me, plastic surgery, for the most part, is pretty obvious to most people. Like, especially breast implants. If you were flat before, like now you have breast implants, people fucking figured
you
it
can't
out.
really sneak that by anybody.
Yeah, it's like pretty okay. We got it.
Right.
So to me, like I have no problem getting plastic surgery. I'm all for bettering yourself if that's gonna make you feel better. I'm also all for being honest about it because people can tell the difference. But that's my personal opinion.
It's on their terms, though. It's not on your terms.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not going to comment on somebody's boob job unless they specifically are like, hey, look at my new tits. And
Especially
then I'm
since
going to be
boobs
like,
are like, we're attracted to them. It's
they're,
not
I mean, it's like
it's like you got your ear fixed or something.
right.
you
It's
know?
not like you got a mole removed from your
Right,
face
it's
that
like those are
was
like-
massive and people could
Yeah.
tell. So I agree. You tread lightly. If she brings it up, great. Then that's your segue to be like, yeah, I think they look great. But you don't need.
Don't bring it up yourself.
Also, it's like because it's a girl-guy dynamic, I think it's really awkward for him to like go into explicit detail about how great they look. Like girls can do that to each other, or like if you're her boyfriend and you want to say how great they look, great. But like, if I got a boob job and then like Dillon's like, hey, like I noticed you got a boob job, they look
Notice your
awesome.
tits,
I'd
Sally,
be
they're
like,
awesome. Yeah.
You are coming off as creepy.
Yeah, that's
you know?
not a good look for you.
Yeah. So let her lead the way. Anybody who's had plastic surgery, even if you know and like watched them, you knew, like, you know, even if they're all like secretive about it, whatever, or you know for a fact that they did, you don't bring it up until they do. Just like how I've always said, and you've got to be really careful with people, but just like you don't bring up somebody like being pregnant until you know for sure.
Oh, I have a phobia of guessing wrong.
Yeah.
Like I don't wait until they're like 9 months pregnant. Like you might be pregnant.
We
but I'm
like
still
we
not
have a
sure.
joke at work that like
Yeah.
unless you're watching them push a baby out, you
Yeah.
don't say a word about
Yeah.
it. Because you just
never.
commenting on people's bodies can get real
Yeah.
iffy
Yeah.
unless they welcome that and are asking for the comment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think we crushed that.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Let's go to the next one. Voicemail.
Hey guys, so I had a small get together with my friends for Halloween. There was 4 of us total, so we were being safe. And my girlfriend got a little too drunk, and she threw up 3 times in bed. And I picked up all of the sheets and all the blankets and everything like that and washed them. And then she threw up again onto the mattress, as well as my iMac charger and my iPod charger and my iPhone charger. What's the best way to address her about this? All right, thanks. Bye.
Dude's got a lot of chargers.
This dude is just charged.
Is iMac? Is he talking about his MacBook? Right.
Or it's a desktop.
An iMac is a desktop,
Oh.
but I think he's talking about like a MacBook charger.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Also, if it's just chargers, when you put this into the description, it sounded like she threw up on his computer. Chargers is a lot better.
Yeah, we know the guy's a big Apple product guy though.
Congrats, me too.
Yeah, loves Apple products.
Huge Apple fan. Also, I don't know if anybody caught that, but I took a sip of water while that was going through,
caught
and
it.
it just
I
went
was-
all down my face.
I wasn't going to acknowledge it, but thank you for doing so. Okay, I wouldn't be like, oh, here's the bill for all my shit you ruined, but I would make it known like, hey, you ruined all my shit, and just kind of see how if she's like willing to, you know, be responsible and Venmo you for it. But I can't. I don't know. That's what he's asking, right? Like, do I have her replace my stuff?
So,
Even though it's gonna be expensive if she pays for everything that she ruined.
well, like chargers aren't terrible, but the mattress is the issue.
He has an iPod apparently. No one's doing an iPod anymore.
Yeah, what?
I to me, reading this, it's like, how far into the relationship are they? You know?
Yeah.
Because if you're a year in, you got to be like, you threw up all over everything.
Yeah,
like,
if it's the second week.
but if it's week 2, it's kind of awkward because you're like, you owe me like $2,000.
Yeah,
Like,
you can't really do it. That's why I say you just be like, man, you had a night last night, huh? Yeah, I'm paying for it today. All this shit's ruined or whatever. And just see how if she's like, oh yeah, I got to pay for that. I'm sorry. And if not, then that's kind of a red flag. But she's just like, I'm not gonna compensate you for any of this.
I don't know if I would approach it as you had a night and make fun of her for throwing up. It depends on where the relationship's at. Like, I'll be straight honest with you. Will and I this was probably a year into our relationship, actually, like almost a little past a year. I got super drunk at a wedding in Houston and threw up all over my I never throw up when I'm drunk, ever. This was like one of 3 times. I threw up all over my bedspread, and he was very kind and like washed all of my stuff and like stayed up till like 4 a.m. I guess also watching an F1 race, so a little bit self-serving, but like washing all of my stuff. And the next day, we were a year into it. Like, he could have joked around with me, but he was really sweet because he knew that like I had a lot of shame about it, and thankfully it was my own crap and like I didn't mess anything up, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta be careful about our feelings too, because you don't want to shit all over and be like, you threw up all over everything and I hate you. But like, if she's your girlfriend, you should feel comfortable enough being like, hey, I know you got sick on Saturday. Like, all the stuff is clean, but like, you did throw up all over my iPod that no one has in 2020 and my mattress. Like, and just say it like that and maybe let her.
Right. That's fair. But I wouldn't feel comfortable being like, this is what you owe me.
Don't send her a Venmo request. But also, like, you don't want to, like, beat her down and be like, you got really hammered and puked all over my iPad.
Yeah.
But, like, tell her.
Just in a matter-of-fact tone.
Hopefully she knows. I mean, I guess Halloween was a couple days ago. Like,
oh, she's got to know. When you wake up with vomit next to you, you know that you got into one.
Yeah. And she probably feels really bad about it, so approach it lightly. But also, I would make it known to her, and hopefully she offers to pay for part of it. That's the right thing to do. And I agree with you. Like, if you're only a couple weeks in and she doesn't offer, that's kind of a red flag. If you're like a year in and she doesn't offer, you have the right to be like, you want to throw me a couple bones? Or
yeah.
I think it just totally depends on how far you are into the relationship. But I do think that you need to be honest with her about what happened. I mean, he's trying to have another iPod. You know, he's got to get his iPod off.
Maybe it's like a vintage one that's like worth a ton of money. It's like the only one left or something.
It's like the Generation 2 one.
It's in mint condition from 2003.
That's how I was picturing all of this stuff, honestly.
I think that answers the question.
Yeah.
Pretty well. Tough luck, man.
Very tough.
Don't keep all your chargers in one bundle.
Get a mattress cover too, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
You got to get a mattress cover.
Man, Parks is he's just sleeping in his undies now. And I don't have a mattress cover. He's doing great so far, but I'm worried he's just gonna let one rip one night.
You got to get a mattress cover.
Yeah, I probably do.
Just even, yeah.
Yeah, he's doing great though.
That's good.
Very proud of him, Dave.
Me too. Email time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sup, gang? If you could go back and do your 20s differently, what would you do differently and why? I know it was a long time ago for Dillon, but I think he can still remember despite his old age. Right.
Unnecessary dig, but
for reference, I'm a 24-year-old guy living at home with my parents and siblings. I have a full-time job, finishing my master's. Despite previous responses from Sally and Dillon, I still feel like I'm having a quarter-life crisis and not making the most of my 20s. I've been pretty productive, hitting the gym 5 to 6 days a week, eating well, reading books, meditating, safely spending time with my girlfriend, occasionally hitting Verdansk with the boys.
Let's go.
But the ongoing, quote, global pandemic in conjunction with living at home is making it difficult to feel like I've been effectively using my time. Any advice?
I mean, it sounds like this dude's crushing it, right?
Yes.
Like he's in shape. He's reading. He's eating well, even meditating. This guy's crushing it. Like, look, here's my opinion. That until like your body starts to like deteriorate, like life just keeps getting better as you get older. I've had more fun in my 30s than I did in my 20s. I don't know the exact reason for that. Maybe you just have like more money to throw around or whatever. But it's not like life after your 20s. You're out of like the fun stuff. You know, there's plenty. The fun things you do, like it changes.
Right.
Like, I don't enjoy going to the bar until 2 a.m. anymore. But I like going to dinners with friends and going on trips and that kind of stuff. Like I love it. And spending time with family and parks and all that. That's my idea of fun. So the fun things that you do just kind of change naturally, but it's not like after your 20s, like the fun shit's over. Not at all. I think this guy's right on track he's setting himself up for, setting himself up very well, I think.
I would have killed to be like this guy in my 20s.
Finishing his master's, he's 24, finishing his master's. Like
I've said this, I think, a couple times on this podcast, but comparison is like the root of evil in this situation. First of all, we're in a pandemic, so it's really easy to get down about what's going on in your life when you have to remind yourself that everyone else is going through the same thing, even if it doesn't feel like that sometimes on social media and stuff. Also, I spent a lot of my early to mid 20s like living like out of a suitcase, essentially. I was working as a nurse and working 3 days a week, and then would be gone on weekends, like going to people's weddings and stuff like that, and just never feeling like I had a routine. And I think it's always, the grass is always greener. Like I always was really jealous of people who, like, I had to work a lot of weekends. So like the weekends that I had free, I would like either be traveling, which was great, or I would be out, but I never like took the time to like settle myself. And now I look back on that, I don't regret it, but at the time it was like very unfulfilling. But I think it made me who I am now. Everyone is going through different stuff in their 20s. Like maybe you're in school and you feel like you're missing out because your friends are doing all this stuff, but really you're furthering your career. Or maybe you don't have a job and you're like trying to find yourself in what you're meant to be doing. Yeah. And you feel like shit because your friend is getting his master's, and you know, like everyone is comparing themselves to each other.
You're right.
And
not
everyone's
realizing circumstance is very different.
Right. That like maybe what seems very, maybe you're single and your friend just got married and you think that their life looks perfect, but on the flip side, like they're like, I'm 22 and I just got married. Maybe this isn't the move. Like, you can't compare yourself. And I also agree with you. Like, I think that the older I get and the more I know myself and am comfortable being myself, the more fun I have and the less FOMO I have. Like, I don't care about missing shit now. Yeah. Like, almost to the point where it's getting like, maybe I'm a little too lazy and I need to make more of an effort.
I think a big part of why he's feeling this way is because he still lives with his parents at 24 years old, which is borderline. You need to get out of the house. I get it, but you're still in school, so you don't have like a steady paycheck coming in like most people do.
Right.
So it's fine. I mean, 24. It's not like it's like panic time. Like, why am I still living here? You're not 34 doing it.
But we get this question from like 28-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like, I think.
Find what you value in life and go after that, and don't compare. Like you said, don't compare yourself to others because it's going to do nothing for you.
And he already sounds like he is striving to like do more. It would be different if you were like stuck in a rut. I mean, if you talk to Will, who was like living in his hometown at 24 to like age, however, 27, whatever, like that was like, I feel like for him, he felt like I'm going to be doing this forever, like.
Oh, I've had phases like that.
And then his life totally changed and he moved to Austin, like got a totally different job, like outside of the realm of what he was doing. Like, you never know what's going to happen, and you just have to be open to possibilities. Like, it sounds like he's not going to be content living at his parents for forever. He's trying to finish his stuff. Like, you can't let that hold you back.
No. That's a very temporary situation.
Right.
You're setting yourself up for, like, happiness and like a long-term happiness. Really, I mean, you're fine. You're doing much better than a lot of people your age.
Honestly, the best advice I would give him is to enjoy the moments you have right now, because I think I spent a lot of my 20s waiting to be in a relationship with somebody, or waiting for my work-life balance to get better, or waiting for this and that, and not enjoying. Like, I think back in my 20s and they were a blur, and it was really fun. Like, I had a great time celebrating weddings with friends and going on trips with my friends, but I was just living for like the next weekend and stuff like that, and I didn't savor the times that I was having. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look back, and I think I had a lot of moments in my 20s that I was getting to know myself and learning and stuff like that. But I think about like, wow, I was spending so much time with my friends, and like, I've missed that now, like you are going to miss in 10 years living with your parents. 'Cause it's a time that like, yeah, it's living with your parents, but like, that's like the most you're going to ever get to know your parents.
Yeah.
'Cause you're an adult and you can like be on the same level as them. So enjoy the small things.
Appreciate the present.
Yeah.
And not worry about the future as much.
Yeah.
Good stuff. We have one more, Dave. It's a voicemail.
All right.
Kind of a fun one to end on.
Hey, Melon Crew. Thanks for taking my call. This is Kyle in St. Petersburg, Florida. Shouts to producer Bay for selling me his Callaway Road a couple years ago. Appreciate it. Quick question for you. My fiance and I are getting married May of 2021, and we're trying to book a honeymoon right now, but with all the global destinations kind of being shut down with no real date of when they're going to reopen to U.S. tourists, where are some places in the United States that you would suggest for a honeymoon? All right, I'll hang up and listen.
Best honeymoon destinations in the United States. May 2021, not too far away. It depends on if Hawaii is allowing travel, because that's like the obvious one here. Because I tried to go in July. They had just opened up, lifted their travel ban. Like it was actually a mandatory 14-day quarantine, and then they re-implemented it or whatever because it got bad again, so I couldn't go. So Hawaii's a possibility.
I think
if
it's
they're
lifted
allowing
currently,
travel.
but
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. Other spots in the United States, Napa Valley.
I mean, anywhere in California is going to be, like, you could go Southern California
Yeah. You could do a San Fran Napa combo. That might be my top choice here to do both of those. But yes, Southern California, San Diego's awesome.
Or, I mean, we had a great time in Laguna. You could do, like, Oregon wine country and then do, like, Seattle area, Pacific Northwest.
If you want a little Southern charm, you could do Charleston or Savannah. Those are cool spots.
Honestly, like, for as much shit as it gets, Florida's super nice. The beaches are really nice.
St. Petersburg, like that area. Those are really, really cool beaches. Cool little
honestly,
like,
it
beach
just depends on what kind of vibe you want. I've actually heard some really awesome stuff about Blackberry Farm, Blackberry Mountain, like in Tennessee.
I don't know anything about that.
So Blackberry Farm is a resort that is like a foodie destination, and then they created Blackberry Mountain. They're like very family-friendly resorts, but you can do like a bunch of activities. It's kind of fun. Colorado's always a safe bet. Like, it'll be really nice. You can go like hiking, good views, good food. It honestly just depends on what kind of vibe you and your fiance want. And I think I've said this before on this podcast. I like kind of nerd out about the geography of the United States. It's actually like insane when you think about the different like climates and atmospheres that we have. Like, you have literal Arizona desert, and then you have like beaches, and then you have mountains, and then we have like the Pacific Northwest, and then you've got
totally
like
different. Yeah.
Everything is different. So you just got to figure out what you want. May, pretty much anywhere you're going to go in May is going to be nice.
Yeah.
Like,
it takes snow out of the equation. So I mean, if I go to the mountains, I want it to be snowy.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't do that. But actually, I think I've been to San Francisco in May, and it was awesome.
We've been to San Francisco in May.
We got good
and
weather.
Napa.
Yeah.
I mean, it won't be fire season, but a lot of stuff is destroyed by fires. And you also have to like be very flexible given COVID, because you don't know what's going to be peaking and who's going to be shut down and stuff like that. I do think like there are some really cool destinations in the United States that are like, I think we tout California a lot because it's easy. They have like a lot of beautiful, like it's constantly good weather. But there are so many cool states, so many cool places that exist that like I would love to go to that we still haven't done, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I still really want to go to Yellowstone and like Jackson Hole. And
I haven't been up there.
Like, we haven't been to Montana in a couple of years, and I loved it there. Like, it just depends on what you want, you know?
I think that's the last part of the United States that I haven't been to that I want to go to.
I still also really want to go to Maine. Like, just,
yeah, I've heard good things.
Just, you know.
Don't know much about it.
Muck it up there, get some lobster.
Yeah.
Like, same, I'm like, just like be really preppy in like Nantucket or the Hamptons or something, you know?
Yeah.
It just depends on what kind of vibe you want.
Yeah,
like, there's literally so much culture and climate differences in our country that like you can really pick. New Orleans can be really fun. Like, I don't know if I would pick that as a honeymoon.
Not
it's
as a
like
honeymoon
it's more of
spot.
like a weekend destination, but like
there are
great
some
food.
cool things to do in New Orleans that aren't getting drunk on Bourbon
Right.
Street, that is.
For me, like, especially like going on trips that I'm not laying on a beach, I like to go places where like I can eat great food and have cool experiences.
Yeah.
So there's so many places.
Yeah, I would do San Fran, Napa. I would do like 2 nights in each.
Honestly, I would do Cleveland, Ohio. It's like top
wow.
destination.
Here come the Cleveland people coming at us now.
Wow.
Wow.
The Ohio people
Everybody
don't come
loves-
for my throat. I don't.
Where are the Ozarks?
Missouri?
Oh, yeah. It doesn't really
Arkansas.
I don't need
Yeah.
to go to Missouri. Fine. I'm fine not going there.
You can really like.
Arkansas is sneaky.
Arkansas's got some pretty parts to it for sure.
Yeah.
Never been, but I've had enough
Most
people
states
tell
have
me
at
that.
least like a nice area.
Yeah, I'm sure even Ohio has something.
Even Ohio's got something. Well, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, isn't that in Cleveland?
Oh, cool. Cleveland rocks.
If you really like rock and roll, you can go there. God, poor Ohio. All right, guys, that'll wrap her up. Did you have fun?
Sure.
Did we do a sneaky hour on that? We did.
We
Didn't
did.
we? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, happy election to everyone. Hopefully, everyone is satisfied with the results of this one.
Sure they will. I'm sure everybody will be
I'm
fine
sure
with
everyone
it.
will be cool-headed about it. All right, hotline number 888-362-6245. Or write in the link in the Twitter bio @MailInPodcast. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.